Hello and good day to you once again. Thanks for tuning into this beautiful channel. I would say it's been awesome to teach you some things that it's been awesome to learn from me actually. Thank you very much. So quickly, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to design this beautiful object on this design masterclass write-up. So it's going to be more of a walkthrough. So I'm going to be teaching you how to design this. It's going to be more of a walkthrough like I've been doing. So just sit back and relax. I'm going to be teaching the technique of why and how these lines get to curve round a shape this beautiful. So just sit back and relax, and let's jump into Illustrator. Uh, All right, we are into Illustrator, and we have a blank white artboard. So we all know how to create a new document, come to new and rename it, design, and then click OK. So the very first thing to do is to create an ellipse tool, and holding your shift to constrain the size, and that. So we have that already created down. And also the next thing to do, if you notice this picture, you notice that we have just lines, equal lines with equal distance. The lines are equidistant away from each other. One is equidistant away from the next. That means they have equal distances from each other. So the thing we have to do is to create a line using a rectangle tool. But I think I have that already. So you could actually use any other shape. Okay, maybe you should use the rectangle tool, but I think I will use any other shape. Any shape, I use another shape. So I'm going to use the rounded rectangle tool, and then I click and drag on one, and I have this capsule looking like a tool. So all I have to do is to press D to make it to return to default color, white fill and black stroke, and then switch the fill and stroke colors, and voila, we have something of that nature. And then remove the stroke. So the next thing to do is to duplicate this guy. So what do? I just hold Alt and Shift. So Alt and Shift, click and drag to the side, to the right, and then we have a duplicate. So I have to select both. Okay, let me distribute it well. So we have here. So I have to select both. I think I need more space in between. So select both and Control D to duplicate. So it duplicates it to the right. Should be able to duplicate it to the right. Oh, okay. I think I still have to Alt and drag with Shift, holding Shift. All right. So after having done that, I make sure it's horizontally distributed to the center, and then select everything and Control D. So it duplicates it and duplicates it for me to the right. All right. So I think I have a good number of it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to so it doesn't matter if you have an even or odd number, odd amount of this. So the next thing I have to do is to make sure this is a symbol. And how do I create a symbol? I just have to come to symbol and make sure this is selected and click new. So I have a new symbol. I call it rail. Let me call it round rail, round rails, and do OK. So we have round rails here. So let me make sure is a use save symbols and call it a round rails for future purposes, and save it. All right, so we have that as a round rails. You could either delete it or drag it down here. I think I still have a lot to do with it. Okay, so let's come back and jump back to our circle, our ellipse tool. All right, so the next thing to do is to make this guy in 3D. So how do we do it? Come to Effect, 3D, and Revolve. Make sure you choose Revolve and not Extrude or Bevel. So we have, make sure you enable Preview, and then you see this guy is out this way. So to make sure you have the donut shape, just have to increase the offsets. So we increase the offset, and let's have this like this. Okay, so I'm not going to follow the angles directly. I just need you to get the rough idea. Okay, so the next thing to do is to map art. So mapping is just talking about is talking about different faces of your object. So how do you want to place a texture on a face of an object? So if you have a cube, that means you're going to have 8 mappable surfaces. But since this is just a long continuous object, so we only have one mappable face, which means it's 1 of 1. So what do we have to do what we have to do is to map it with our previously created symbol, which is here. It says symbol. I'll come to road rails. It will be included in your library, and then we have it. So it is either you manipulate it manually, or you just come and say scale to fit. So it fits it directly. It fits it directly. So you could either pull it up, so you have this long seamless joining, or you could have it this way. So I think I love it this way. Also note that you have a point that has a double. So look here, you notice that this point, the space here is larger than the space here. So that's to tell you that this guy, and that's to tell you that this guy is repeating seamlessly with this guy. So we have 2 large ones. Also, all we have to do is to click this guy out, so it will fall out of the square, and then we have 1 there. All right, so the next thing to do is to make invincible geometry. Invisible geometry. I don't know why I call that word invincible. So it's invisible. So make invisible geometry, and click OK, and OK. So we have something not quite there. So the next thing to do is to make sure you expand this shape. So let's expand this guy. Come to Object, expand appearance. So once you expand appearance, you're telling Illustrator, I want to be able to edit each and every anchor point on this as either a fill or a stroke. So they are still grouped, so we have to just ungroup, and release from clipping mask. So once you have that, you'll be able to work towards creating this shape. So the next thing to do is to select the inner point, which you don't want, and begin to delete. Delete that. I don't think we want, well, again, I don't think we want this. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want this either. So we don't want this. We don't want this either. Okay, I think we want that. Okay, is this, we don't want this. We don't want this. So just make sure you're deleting unnecessary shapes. Okay, I think we're done with that. Yeah, I think we're done with that. So we have this beautiful 3D shape there. So I don't think I'm going to delete completely. Okay, so I have this beautiful 3D shape on my white artboard. So what I did for this guy was the remaining shape spilling out this way. So let me draw something out. So the shapes are spinning out this way to this point, spinning out this way. If you grab what I'm saying, all this coming out this way and to the back, I just deleted them. I deleted everything. So to have this, so this is what I did here. I just had to pick this and I deleted it. So we had, so I had something of this nature. But for this tutorial, I think I like this. I'm not going to delete that. I'm just going to leave that way. So make sure you delete every extra. So you're going to see more of lines and anchor points. So make sure you delete every extra, because when we begin to add colors and we begin to group them, it's going to give problems. So we have this, we have this. We don't want this. We don't want these two. So they can be problematic at times. Don't want this. Which again, so you just have to keep checking for what you don't want. Okay, so I have some here too, and here. Okay, so I think I've deleted every bit of it. All right, so the next thing to do is to fill it with color. So I need to fill it with color. So you could either fill the inside. So I want to fill it with from orange to okay, still an orange. So still orange, and then maybe I'm gonna use a red for this. So I'm gonna use a red for this. Okay, so I have this differently differently painted material. But what if I want to fill everything with gradients? So I pick a gradient and I fill. But you would notice that everything has individual gradients, one by one. So this gradient is different from this one's gradient, and this one's gradient is different from this one's gradient, which is going to pose a lot of problem. So all we have to do is to right click and do ungroup. So once you ungroup it, you select everything, right click and do uh, uh, and go. Okay, so there's still uh, undo ungroup. There's still a problem somewhere. There's still a shape that ungroup. Okay, I think I have to ungroup it one after the other. Okay, so we have individual points. So the next thing is to make sure it's a compound path. So once you make it a compound path, you're telling Illustrator that, okay, I want everything to be one shape, but not grouped. Yeah, there are two different things. So we'll do make compound path. And then every one of them share the same gradient. It's as simple as that. And the next thing you have to do is just to change your gradient color. So I think I want to use RGB here and an RGB here. And then I want to move from this red to blue to make a beautiful purple, like a beautiful, okay, so I think I will do this. That is all about it. So we have something as beautiful as this. So if you wish, you could leave your background white or black. You could, if you wish, you could do anything you want to do to it. All right, so that's about that. And also, I would love to teach you how to create a 3D, a 3D, a 3D ball, like a ball, a 3D, a sphere, sorry, a sphere inside of Illustrator. So all you have to do is to create uh, a circle. But if you think creating a circle is just how to create a sphere, you're wrong. So if I do revolve, it's going to give me the same thing it gave me for this. So all you have to do if you want to create a sphere is that you have to say, since I'm going to revolve this in 360, that means this guy has to be cut into two equal halves. So how are we going to do that? So we could either do that by clicking this guy and deleting this point, delete that point, and we have an hemisphere, a semicircle, and then we do effect, revolve, and then you have a sphere. So you have a beautiful sphere. So there's no way you can rotate it. It's just still the same thing. So you just have to leave it that way. So the next thing to do is since it's a one art thing, so we just map. So let's map it and let's put the same round rails on it and scale to fit. So we have this beautiful guy here. So we could so we have this watermelon looking kind of thing. So we could, let me leave invisible geometry. So I have a watermelon there. So I could pick my watermelon and say I want to expand it, could expand the appearance and pick the guy under and change him to green. So I have this watermelon looking, what have you. So change yourself to green. Oh, okay. So I've expanded it, so it's going to give me a lot of stress. Okay, so what if I want to make the line look really, really horizontal? So all we have to do is to still create an ellipse and an ellipse and delete this point. let's do it fast. So let me create, let me make it this time like yellow. Let me make it yellow. Okay, so we create that and leave it there. So the next thing to do is to come back to this guy. Like I said, I might use him later. So and just make sure he's vertical. You flip him vertically, and then you can create a new symbol from it and say round rails vertical. So we have round rails vertical. That's okay. And then let's save him and do save RR vertical. So do RR vertical and okay. We click OK, and the next thing to do, move him out of the way. The next thing to do is to make our yellow semicircle a sphere. So make him a sphere and a map art, and then to map, just make sure you have the round rails vertical, and then you could scale to fit, and then we have this beautiful, beautiful looking guy, and let's change. Okay, so we have something of this nature, and we'll do. Okay, so let me remove the colors behind and do invisible, and okay, and okay, do okay. All right, so let's repeat the process. Expand, ungroup, release flipping mask, and then let's begin to delete what we don't want. So you could either remove this. So we click one out, and we have the other at the back. So we have multi direction in there. So you don't have to keep deleting one by one. You can do the same thing to this guy. You could expand appearance, but since there's no invisible geometry, this might give you a lot of headaches, a whole lot of headache. So it can give you a whole lot of headache. So we have expand appearance, ungroup, release flipping mask, and we have this out, and we still have our 3D, but this time it's like it's painted. So we have 2, and then we have 3, we have 4. So we have 4 behind. So 1 for this, 1 for this. So we have different ways you can really model that. So if you remember, I was saying something about seamless. So here, because I didn't drag the symbol to the end of the mapping. So that's why we have double. So that's why we have double. I didn't drag it out. Okay, so we can do the same thing we've done with these guys. We can do the same thing by, so let's move here. I just making sure they ungroup them. So we have different caliber of rounding. So let me do this guy. Okay, so the next thing to do is to give it that beautiful. So it's like light is coming from this side. So we can give this one 2, but let's change the color to this and this. So let me use a green. So you have a whole lot of options. You have a whole lot of options to pick from, to select from. I have a whole lot of options to select from. But remember, these guys are already compound objects. So okay, sorry, still grouped. Okay, so click on everything and make compound path. So it's sharing one. This one is also having the problem of being grouped. So you ungroup everything. So you begin to ungroup them one by one, one after the other. So you get the gist, because time is already running out. So we have this also. We can ungroup him and say, I want you to be at the mark. Okay, so we can still compound path. And so we have these 3D shapes. So you could do whatever you want to do with whatever you want and achieve whatever result you want to achieve, all in the name of doing the right thing, doing all in the name of doing the right thing with design. So we have these beautiful designs. You could make sure you uh, subscribe to the channel and like this video if you learned something from it. It's very essential that you like the video, because I would bring you more and more tips and tutorials on Illustrator, on Cinema 4D, and some other design softwares that you can imagine. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Have a great day. And please, once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and bye-bye.